Alright. What's up, everybody? We are back with another series from the WardiTV Summer Championship, and this psychopath, I thought this was a big TVZ. Apparently, he's playing Protoss because he's crazy. Reynor, representing Kaizi Gaming, is playing Protoss in the top left of Stargazers, up against Clem's Terran in the top right. Of course, Clem's playing Terran because it's his main race, because he's a sane person. But Reynor is going to be trying it out. Now, Reynor, his PvT sucks compared to his PvZ because it's a very strategic matchup where understanding really does matter. And I feel like Reynor's understanding of PvT, his depth of builds, the little details are not at the same level as he is in Protoss versus Zerg, where it feels more like he has a consistent game plan where he can kind of mechanically work his way through it and just focus on the tactics. But the build orders and the reactions matter so much in PvT, and that's why he has struggled in this matchup whenever he mixes his Protoss in. That being said, he's made Clem struggle in the past. I remember he was very close to beating Clem in the late game of a PvT in one of the weekly NA Cups once. They played a crazy game on Blackburn, and Reynor was actually beating him in most of the late game battles. And I was like, what? So, you know, he's very good with his micro and his engagements. Reynor's big weakness is build orders and getting surprised by aggression, catching him out when he's being too greedy in the early mid game, I would say. Getting picked apart by multi-prong. Probe's going to go in there, keep harassing for a little bit. Reaper's almost out, though, so hanging around this long, yeah, you're wasting some mining time, but it does cost you. And I think with the probe, you know you can't really get home, so running left makes no sense. So he should be running south and hiding it somewhere, because if he just stays here, the Reaper's definitely going to find him. So, oh, he's going to hide in the most obvious spot right outside the base. Oh, what a cheeky dick bag. Very clever. He's going for a Nexus Cybercore, an early Adept coming out to defend this. And the probe goes in for that extra layer of harassment. The Marine is almost out, but does at least force the SCV off the line momentarily. And let's see how quickly Reynor reacts. Not quickly enough. Oh yeah, no, he gets out. Knowing Reynor, I thought he might turn back and try to kill that probe. Here we go, though. Reaper's inside his base. Adept will chase it down. Stalker, you can see much better than in the depth for hunting units down. Can really push the Reaper away and keep him in the dark. But Clem sees the Stargate. Hunts down that probe as well, actually. That probe not able to get away. Reynor too distracted with the Adept micro. And this gives such a good start to Clem, because if you can see their Stargate like that, he can now go Tech Lab Cyclone, and he's going to play 3 racks before Starport. And this is a massive counter to Reynor's build. Now, the best way to play here as Reynor is to go single Oracle into Twilight Blink, and then just play a normal ground-based game off 1 Oracle. If your Stargate's being scouted, the Oracle's the best way to do that, because it's detection, so it's a great scouting unit. It basically counts as an observer or multiple observers, and it forces anti-air out of your opponent, sees what's going on, but it means you're not overcommitting to Phoenix. Going Phoenix here would be a terrible decision. Reynor starts a Phoenix. This is what I'm talking about, guys. Reynor's decision-making is not that good in PvT. If you've had your Stargate scouted and you go straight for Phoenix, it's a disaster of a build order choice, because any Terran worth their salt knows that you just skip out on the starport, you get up your stim faster, your shields, then you add medevacs, and you push out and you have a vicious mass bio stim timing, which Phoenix are going to be nearly worthless first. Now, on the other hand, it's Stargazers. He's mining out the minerals. He's going to go Colossus. He's already got a 3rd gas. We'll probably get a 4th gas. This is actually the one strategy where he can probably make this work. So I'm being a bit overly critical. I'll hold my horses for now, guys. On this map, because you can kind of turtle up with just here, wall off the front, you can defend with Phoenix Colossus. On the other hand, I actually think Phoenix Colossus is not that good here, because the Terran could drop there, they could drop here, they could drop here, they can attack the front, or they can drop around the backside. And I actually think that's a vast amount of space where your Phoenix don't really have dead space to hunt the enemy down. Now, this is a bit of a ballsy pickup. He doesn't have a 3rd Phoenix, so it's just so far away. The SCV repair can't get there. Clem, run! If Clem loses this, this is a disaster. He can't lose that Cyclone. Oh, it's going to die! A huge pickoff. Okay, that's massive. Okay, suddenly the Phoenix play is more than going to pay off, because he only wanted to go 1 Cyclone. He was going to go into tanks. Now he has to go into another Cyclone to add some range damage. Clem getting way too cocky with that Cyclone out there. He needed to be patrolling it here. He was too far out, and he pays the price for it. That gives Reynor a lot more freedom. He's now got the 3rd Nexus on the way, going into the Robo Bay. 4th gas will go down. Already building static defenses. That's going to be very nice. So my point before, guys, was like, if there's an army here pushing the front, your Phoenix have to be here. but they can pick up and just drop there, right? And if you try to chase them down, they can unload units as they go and kill your Phoenix. So it's a big problem for you. Now, Reynor gets 3 more SCVs. This is a very good start for him. And remember, you've got to keep in mind there is a psychological impact of playing your off race. As Clem, you're a very proud young lad. You're very good at StarCraft. You put a lot of effort into this game. You know, your identity is tied to how good you are. When your opponent chooses to play their off race versus you, it's an insult to your pride. And even though we know that Reynor is very good at it, it's hard to shut up that voice in the back of your head that says, he's trolling you. He's trolling you. Look, he's screwing around with his off race. Lol, lol, lol. And it can be very easy to just, you know, get upset here and mess things up a little bit. A second Cyclone would be so nice right now. A couple batteries, sorry. Is that going to be enough, though? It's a lot of Marines, man. Oh, he should focus the small units, not the Immortal. A weird choice to focus the Immortal. Now he's focusing the Phoenix, but the pickups... Oh, my God. Oh, my... That was a slaughter. The Sentry had to be the first choice there to not focus down the Guardian Shield. A terrible mistake from Clem. That Guardian Shield meant the Marines were losing literally 1/3 of their damage output. A huge mistake. Because of that, he wasn't able to one-shot the units or gun down the Phoenix quick enough, and the battery got way huger extra amounts of value because of that. So this is a series of mistakes from Clem. First the Cyclone, now not focusing the Sentry down, going for the biggest buffest unit, a huge mistake for him. Immortal is not even that big a damage dealer. It should have been the Sentries and then the Phoenix, because every Phoenix you kill drops your Marines down, increases your firepower, and they're also pretty fragile at 180 hit points. So huge mistakes for Clem so far in this game. He's trying to work the angle I was talking about with threatening drops here, here, and here, but he can't now because his army's so small that Reynor can come out and actually beat him on the field of battle. A big, bad situation for Clem. He's going to pick off a Marauder and a Marine. Clem has to go home. He's building a third on location, but he is so far behind. 15 workers down. And this is definitely the best case scenario for Reynor with this build. He's got early momentum, early control. He hasn't lost more than 2 Phoenix despite a giant commitment of a push from the Terran. And he's keeping production up. More Phoenix, more Colossus. He could swoop in the main, tank the turret damage, and pick up a bunch of SCVs. And he's also swapping into charge as well. So not committing to full, you know, I'm going to go carriers off the back of this like some players do. He's going to just be kind of going as well as he can. Got Marines scouting around, making sure there's none of that. The medevac, though, stupidly trying to follow this Marine. It's like, hey, I need to heal him. Oh my God. What the hell? Did it get the same move command? Or is it it's somehow following the Marine, right? What in the heck? Stupid medevac? Okay, that's hilarious. A couple of Marines going to go forward, but 4 Marines doesn't beat Phoenix. That's free kills if the Phoenix spot that. Ghost Academy is on the way. Clem definitely still could win this game. Obviously, he's got better late game, but he's got to play a very slow game to try and catch up. The Adept will go down to those Marines pretty quickly, but the Phoenix definitely can swoop in and take him out, so not bad at all for Reynor. 4 more Marines going down. 4th Command Center is on the way for Clem, realizing he's got to play to the longer stage. He's got those 5 barracks up. His first round of Ghosts will be producing in a moment. There we go. 2 Ghosts are on the way. Archon Zealot coming in. That's a very scary timing that Reynor could commit to with Zealot Archon Colossus. But if you can get the Ghosts out, that'll dampen that. Make you much safer. He sees the 4th base, cannons, batteries. Reynor always builds cannon and battery at pretty much every base. His main being the exception since it's surrounded by things. But he's a big lover of static defense, realizing just how annoying it is as a Terran or a Zerg to attack into that. Here we go, Phoenix coming forward. Vikings getting some good volleys off, but his bio army just looks so small right now. Oh man, that's a big Widow Mine hit, but dude, that's a lot of Protoss. Even with a bit of a disorganized assault, the Colossus are attacking the command center. I mean, an opportunistic dive for Reynor may have been a bit ahead of himself. The Archon's going forward. The Colossus aren't doing anything right now. Force fields to split that army would be massive. He goes Guardian Shield. The Phoenix running in, but the Vikings have done a good job. Clem microing back as best he can, but somehow the Colossus have done nothing this entire battle except hit command centers and lone Marines. Finally, they're in range of SCVs where they're really putting the hurt on the opponent. There is 8-Gate Zealot able to reinforce. He's got to stay in front of this Warp Prism. He can't afford the Prism to go down. The Vikings get a few shots off on it, but not too many. And remember, there is no blink here. He's lost all of his Phoenix. So overall, that was about as good as things could go for Clem. A Clem who was massively outnumbered, Manages to survive for now. Second Prism ready to warp Zealots in the main. The Depot sees it. You can see Clem's trying to go for a counter drop. He does fly over the top of it, and he doesn't have the numbers. That's it. Oh no, that drop is not a good idea. He thought Reynor was backing off, but he is not. The command center is burning right now. His buildings, new barracks in the main that were trying to go up are getting taken down. The Vikings do go forwards. Meanwhile, that command center is still burning right now. 153 hit points. We'll keep an eye on that in the bottom right side. The Marine drop does come back to clean up these Zealots. Not a moment too soon. Clem somehow is surviving, but dude, if that burns down, this is going to be an absolute disaster. Clem is in Dicktown right now. It's not a good place. And honestly, it's kind of nasty what Reynor's doing to him in this game. On the other hand, Reynor doesn't have the gate explosion. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, he finally repairs it. Holy crap. My heart felt like it was about to jump out of its chest. Didn't think didn't think that would be the case. +2 armor's on the way, which means he didn't have the money to start +2 attack. There we go. It's coming in. I mean, Clem's surviving. He's trading well. Can he survive the longer it goes? Because remember, the scary thing about Reynor is his rate of growth. He's only on 8 gateways right now, but he's on 87 workers, taking a 5th. He's already up on what? Is he 2 robos? Yeah, 2 robos and a DT shrine. The next thing he's going to do is build about 12 more gateways. He's going to 10 gates at the moment. So he's going to add so many gateways, and that remax of units, the mass blink DT, the mass zealot warpins, that's what makes Reynor such a fright to play in the later stages. Clem pushing right now is very dangerous. Luckily he has a planetary. Cancel. Oh, cancels it just in time. Rebuilds it instantly. It's a little dangerous, but does get it up. Marine comes in, sees that this 5th base is already getting cannons up on it. Those zealots will go down. Clem does force the recall there. Prism is still going to be down there in the bottom, but the Marine nearby could get some damage on it. I'd like to see Clem stim and click on it. Yeah, take that. Get out of here! You're not allowed to warp in here, you dickhead. By the way, I love the decal. Clem has the paw print. The paw print with the target around it. For those who don't know, that's part of the Terran hunting down the dirty Xenos. So anything with paws or different non-human looking feet they like to kill. Viking Bio coming forward. Does take down one of the Colossus there. A couple of disruptors are out. He's going into quad lib production and a fusion core for range liberators, but that's ages away. Right now, Clem wants to do a good fight, and you know what? Reynor doesn't have that much going for him. He's lost one of his Colossus. The other 2 are hiding in the back right now. DT's running in there. Oh, that's it. Reynor realizing, okay, I'm going to jump on your army to distract you as my DTs run on in. And oh man, when you're losing 5 SCVs a swipe, that is a huge problem. 3 of them try to get past. A scan does come down. Didn't actually need that, but at least a few of them will trickle in. Clem wisely retreats with his entire army. Does pull his SCVs back. Gets rid of one of the DTs. It looks like he did block them from walking into his main base. He's going to lose a gas geyser there as well, but that DT will go down. He's going to build a turret at the front. More command centers are on the way. Do we have lib range starting up? I don't think so. That fusion core is just chilling for now. Clem's almost maxed. He's got to remember +2 air weapons and lib range. There'll be game changes. I think a liberator just flew in there to harass, but wasn't able to really find the mark. Is Reynor giving his opponent too much room to recover in this game? He was far ahead earlier on. Oh, Clem's going for a crazy back dive. Where's the recall? He's already used recall. He's already used recall on the Stalkers to defend the lib. That's why Clem's going for this move. Oh, damn. Reynor should have mined these minerals open, but he didn't. And now he's having to stumble back up into his main base. And Clem should just click the Nexus, pick up and leave. Or pick up and leave right now. It's up to him. Dangerous either way. The libs are sieging. He's going to try and take out the Stalkers. And as long as the Stalkers are down, that means the libs are going to take out the Colossus. Does pick up most of the bio, saves it. Can he get a disruptor or 2? He's damaging them, but not getting too many kills. The Stalkers will finally clean things up. DT's run in one more time. Clem survived to the late game, and we saw that Reynor, maybe not as good in the early game and past series. His early game kicked ass this time. He's been all over Clem, but can he capitalize on top of it? Another planetary there. That's an odd one. Because this base is already sticking out like a sore thumb. He's going to have to cancel and lift that off. Clem does so. Marine in the bottom left corner. There's lots of Stalkers right now. Thinking of just working this angle. It's very hard to hunt this down. You have to split your army both sides. This is what I'm saying is you need to fight for the Watchtower control as the Protoss player on this map. If you don't, you do get annihilated. Speaking of which, look at those Colossus going down. Now the balls can fight for space a little bit here. Stalkers do get a Liberator, but dude, he's got so many more Liberators building. Still no range or +2 air weapons. Big missing upgrades here for Clem. But of course, Reynor, he's got a bunch of Stalkers up top. He's got units down the bottom that are going down there as well. That one Marine might cause him some problems. Even the non-upgraded Libs are causing Reynor trouble. You can just see how expert Clem is at all these stages of the game. He's got such a depth of experience. 19 SCVs just went down. That one has 11 kills. Ooh, so this command center got pushed back as well. Oh, ambush! Ambush! Clem, distracted by the DTs, takes a giant ball on the right and the left. His army stumbles in. Oh, no! Oh, no! He grabs the game by the horns, gets control, does young Clem, and then in an instant of distraction, dealing with these DTs, running in and killing so much stuff here. Check this out, guys. So let's go back. I didn't catch this on camera. It was 5 DTs that ran in, and they blink on a turret and kill it, I think, or do they just target it? So it looks like they just target it, and then, oh man, and this was while he was fighting at the front. Those DTs were in there. So big damage. Clem gets distracted, leaves his army idle in the middle, and Reynor, you can tell he's always aware of, hey, if my DTs are distracting you, I'm going to look for the fight on the front, and a disastrous position trapped up against the terrain. And the army just pounces on him. Oh, such a bad spot to get caught in. The Libs weren't sieged. The Vikings were worthless. His whole army gets taken down. And Reynor taking the first map of PvT up against Clem. Says, this map, I don't like playing Zerg versus Terran. Let's just use Protoss. And apparently, he's bloody good at StarCraft. Well played, Reynor. All right. What's up, everybody? We are back with Waterfall. I don't know why I did an all right for game 2 of the series, but I did. We're back with Waterfall. Reynor is going back to Zerg. Now, this is a map I think he actually loves as Zerg. Even though it's a small map and I think of it as kind of scary to play against Terran on, I think the wide open areas and the fact that the bases are very spread apart makes Reynor feel like he's always going to be able to swarm the Terran in the mid game. They won't really make it to late game, so Liquid Clem gonna struggle if it goes too late here. And after taking Stargazers with Protoss, we get to see the advantage Reynor has of trying to pick the big turtley maps as Protoss, right? He's like, oh, it's a big turtley like map with like really hard for Zerg to counterattack and pick off the bases, and Terran can get to like 5-6 bases and play ghosts. I don't want to play the Zerg that's normally more aggressive there, but he's like, oh, I can play Protoss and I can be the guy who's a bit more turtley. So I think that's really Reynor's attitude. What we can see is the big turtley maps that are very easy to defend your expansions, I play Protoss, and the other maps where I feel I can swarm them more in the mid game, I'll just play Zerg, as that is still my best race. He has no illusions about that. He knows exactly what his status is. Now he sees the SCV coming. Does he just try and kill that, or does he try to run past? I imagine you try to kill the SCV if you can, and then you have to split Zerglings off, because you know the Reaper's popping out right now, so you don't want to chase too far. And notice the SCV is trying to follow it. Yeah, Clem's a cheeky little bugger like that. Oh, Reynor, you got to split up. Oh, this is a great move by Clem. Look at this. Clem's Reaper is wanting to hunt those Zerglings down. The Zerglings do end up just pulling home. Gets away with not really responding to the pull first too much at all. Notice the Reaper's still hanging out in the middle. He doesn't want the Overlord to see where the Reaper is. So Clem's trying to purposely keep him in the dark. Reynor only now gets a glimpse of that. But his Lings are already in position. Second gas is on the way behind this, so Clem is probably going to play Banshee here. Early Roach pushes, they get across Waterfall very quickly. They're very vicious to deal with, so fast Banshee is kind of the standard on this map. Now, on the other hand, I feel like when Banshees are what you do every game on a map, they become not as powerful, and that's why I actually prefer Hellbat timings and kind of weird Gumiho builds on this map. Maybe the Beyond Cyclone build, also pretty effective. Orbital on the way, more mules dropping. Notice he does drop the mule on that close mineral patch there, and if you split it between these patches, notice he dropped his first one on this patch, only 1200 left. You drop that one there. If you drop the next one here, you keep these minerals, and you can do it on this one as well, all at the same level, so they all mine out at the same time. It's just a little detail which very few Terrans do. Usually they don't do it precisely, they just kind of randomize it, like, oh, just spread it across the close heavy patches. The heavy patches, of course, start off with 1800 minerals versus just 900 on a normal patch, as you can see. So literally double the amount of minerals on those. Oh, I think he could have killed that if he attacked it. Oh, Clem's gonna dive. He's gonna kill those Zerglings. Nice Evo chamber block, but the Hellions are in there anyway. They don't want to get surrounded by the drones, though. Oh, man, this is a good move by Clem. Oh, good Evo chamber, though. And he can just cancel it now. Cancel it, cancel it. The Hellion has to get out on red hit points there. There are 2 more Hellions and a Reaper. Definitely forcing a few Spore Crawlers, which is expensive. This does cost you minerals, as well as mining time. It's not free. He comes back in hoping they were cancelled already. Doesn't quite get it. Banshee's on the way behind this. As we expected. Overall, not bad damage, I think. You know, getting 3 drones, 2 Zerglings for 1 Hellion. The Reaper's still alive, able to inject those combat drugs is always awesome. Gonna send the... I was about to say, in this scenario, isn't it just worth sending the Hellion home and repairing it for later? Clem is a god. People are like, why don't pros ever repair their units? And guys, if you were saying this 3-4 years ago, you'd be absolutely right. No one would bother doing this. But these days, people who are still talking about that in Twitch chat, I'm like, what StarCraft have you been watching? Maru and Clem and those top dogs are so methodical about repairing their units these days. It's awesome to see that they've got such attention to detail in the midst of managing everything else. That's a lot of actions, a lot of APM. You've got to send it back, detach it from your control group, repair it, cue the SCV back to mining. Then when it's done, remember to bring it back to your Hellions on the front. That's a lot of attention, a lot of actions in the midst of a build order. But Clem says, hey, it's worth it. I'm good enough. I'm fast enough. I can mix that in. He's going 3 CC, up to 3 barracks, double eBay. Cloak is now finished. The Banshees are going to join up on the front, guys. Oh, Banshee's in the open. Get out of there. He's got a Spore Crawler on the way. That's very good preparation for Reynor. He's got 1 queen taking a lot of damage. Where are his other queens? They're coming in from the left side right now, but they're a little bit behind. Good transfuses coming out. Oh, he's going to get some damage on the Banshee. Nicely done by Reynor. But overall, Clem's just not losing any units. He's getting bruised, but not killed. And oh, the queens chase off creep a little bit. Lair was not very quick this game either. It's about a 4-minute 40 Lair started, so it's only just finished. And Reynor, I feel like Clem is getting good value. At the same time, there is still a 15 worker advantage. 4 worker kills do come in on the Banshees. Both of them still alive. Clem, watch out, buddy. Oh, Clem, get out. Oh my god, he's actually going to kill the queen. Okay. Good pullback by Reynor. Reynor making this difficult for his opponent. The Overseer is now there. 3rd base landing for Clem. We expect an orbital to be going up in the near future. He's up to 5 barracks. 1-1 upgrades about 1/3 of the way complete. The Banshees get caught. No, Clem. Okay, guys. So keeping your Banshees alive is huge because they will stop Ling Bane run-bys so cost efficiently. They never die. You have those patrolling over here. Any Baneling run-bys are going to be really subpar. Zerglings can dart past them pretty quickly, but Banelings never can. They'll always take big damage. So keeping this Banshee alive as just a perpetual run-by counter is such a useful usage for it. Nice creep on that left side of the map, dude. That creep on the left is great, but the creep in the middle massively slowed down. And yeah, very nice play here by Clem. But he's got to be careful. It's a lot of Zerglings coming in for a big old flanky flank. Oh, no! That's a lot of Linglongs. The Hellions need to get home quick fast. He's going to try and leave his Marines on the front. Hellions and SCVs will deal with it. Oh, those SCVs. Lots of them going down. The Marines stim in on the front, but lots of Ling Bane there as well. Clem, get out, get out, get out. Run! Does save most of those units. Only 4 SCVs going down. Amazing crisis management for Clem. Despite that, though, he's playing Reynor. And any moment Reynor pulls you away, his creep starts to consume the map. His 5th base is on the way. His 1-1 upgrades will get finished in about a minute's time. They are slowly producing, and he's got a fully saturated 4th mineral line. Reynor is looking to just swarm over. 2nd factory on the way very early for Clem. I love that choice. I've got to wonder where the Widow Mines are, though. Where are your Widow Mines, Clem? You can't just play Bio Tank versus Reynor. He's too good with Ling Bane. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make versus him is trying to play Siege Tanks against a guy who's just all over the map, backstabbing you all game long, unless you're doing a 2-base push, in which case tanks regularly kill Reynor. It is one of his weak points. But anyway, Marine Drop finds an Overlord on the left side. He's also finding an Overlord on the right. Little bits of value getting picked up. Nice Hellbat Marine push, but he's very clumped. Spready, spready, spready. Good spready on the Hellbats. Making sure those Banelings can't really get too efficient versus them. The Baneling's going to try and blow them all up, but Hellbat's doing all right there. Queen's coming forward as well. And that Overseer barely survives. Transfuse coming down at the last second. The Hellbats trade out. Queen Transfuse doing really well to keep all those Queens alive. And that pushes him back for now. Still got a Packling Bane in the left as well. He's going to try and clear this left corridor, but there's just so much creep in the center left still. That's, of course, a problem. On the other hand, creep completely pushed back on the right. The middle is still looking very stunted. And he's got a 4th command center on the way. Drilling claws. Widow mines are starting to build. Reactor's about to finish. Clem is going into Widow mine play, and that makes me very happy for him. On the other hand, Hive, Hydra Den are on the way, which means lurkers will come out within the next couple of minutes, and lurkers do not care about Widow mines very much at all. That creep tumor gets missed by the scan. Unfortunate mistake there for Clem, which means that nubbin of creep will still be out front. Marines with a good pre-spread, but Banelings get some decent deaths. Overall, though, a lot of Banelings do fall there. For not that many Marines, that tank is in a lovely position on the left side. Ling's getting ready for a backstab. That natural looking like it is a little exposed, but Clem aware of the threat. He actually finds this. The tank will get taken down. Banelings! Banelings! Ooh, the Marine stimming back, but Clem might actually hold his ground there, and overall, units lost tab is about 2,500 resources in his favor. Clem looking fantastic so far in terms of the engagements. But Reynor is Reynor, and Reynor right now has a Zerg economy. He has a Reynor Zerg economy. He has 90 drones. He's got a little bit of creep trying to regrow. Overall, though, I do worry that if Clem maxes out with this sort of control over the creep spread, Reynor needs a big run by or something, yeah? But there's a Banshee on the right. Planetary going up on the 4th now. It's a pretty late 4th base, but I don't think it matters too much as long as he doesn't throw his Marines away. Oh! Okay, good spreadies for the most part. One good Widow Mine hit, got about 9 Zerglings, but the rest did go down without those big effective hits. He's still got a double drop on the left. Clem multi-pushing on both sides. He's going to focus down some Banes here, potentially. He's got to be careful. His rally got a little bit sloppy there. Now, keep in mind, Widow Mines are cheap, and mass production is very possible. He can build 3 Widow Mines every 21 seconds. That means he can build 9 Widow Mines a minute. That is an insane amount of explosive power. And if you just keep these messy trades going, eventually Reynor will make some mistakes. On the other hand, Reynor's almost maxed. He's got a Lurker Den on the way. The last few fights didn't get that good a trade for Clem, and he's giving up a little bit of ground. He's got to keep Reynor contained, and he's also got to start his Ghost transition if he wants a chance of dealing with that Lurker Viper that's coming out. Now, only a single Viper. You might wonder, why would you play Viper versus Biomine? The reason is, Parasitic Bomb is always going to be good versus Medivacs. You can trap drops that hide in the dead space with it. And not only that, but of course, if there are siege tank swaps that go on, already having that Viper out is amazing for Blinding Cloud and Abduct. Blinding Cloud does not work on Widow Mines, for those who don't know. And, oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, Widow Mines getting gunned down. Oof. I mean, the Drilling Claws does help, but remember, Drilling Claws does not improve their burrow speed as much as it used to. It's something people forget about. They are not as quick to burrow as they used to be. There's a very slight increase to that speed. And, oh, okay, good micro for Clem so far. Gets another one. Dude, good trades for him. I gotta say, he's got an endless field of Widow Mines. It feels a little bit like Reynor is walking through. He's the cartoon character going through the field filled with rakes. Each time he steps on the head of one, the handle just flings up and hits him in the face. Widow Mine's not going to be able to do too much there. Good Hydra micro. Now remember, he always forgets to get his +1 range upgrade as Reynor. I say forget, chooses not to. He has the money for it, but he doesn't get it. So his Hydras are almost always 5 range rather than 6 range Hydralisks. And that is something which I do criticize him for. He's got to be careful, and I think he's got to start making those Lurkers as well. He's queued up his first Lurker range upgrade. He's got Burrowed Banelings. Burrowed Banelings as well, in the midst of everything else you're doing, really? And on such a tiny map? Oh, Reyn is such a silly guy. I love it. The Marines do take a bit of a Baneling hit there. Good ambush for Mr. Reynor. But the army on the right side is going to try and counter push through as well. Still no Lurkers morphing. And those Hydras, remember, not having all the range upgrades that they might wish they had. Great Widow Mine on the right side. Gets 17 Zerglings. The Banelings trying to roll forth. Not a cost-efficient trade, but is it going to be enough? If he can break the position, then it's worth it. The Hydras need to pull back. Remember, guys, something you want to look at in these fights is if the Hydra line ever gets cleared, that's when Zerg's in big trouble, because those Hydras are fragile, expensive units. They crumble very quickly. Good micro for Clem, but that's a lot of Ling Bane Hydra. He needs a few more Widow Mines, and most importantly, I would say Marines in here, just to have some raw firepower. The creep on his doorstep is a real pain in the ass. Reynor's taken a 5th or 6th base on the right side, has it fully saturated. He's getting a bit of bank up. I really think it's time for him to make a big round of Lurkers, or at least some Lurkers to harass. I'd like to see him get on in there and try to do something. That Widow Mine got a very nice hit. Parasitic bombs on these medevacs would be great. Snipe goes down! One of the Vipers already gets sniped. Very nice plays. Planetary over there on the left side. Sensor tower going up. Got to watch out for these Burrowed Banelings in the future. Oh my gosh. They could be big. Creep has been pushed back on the right side very far. It's being ignored almost completely by Reynor. Reynor's got +3 carapace on the way. +1 range is now finished, so he's adding some range, some attack upgrades, but still no range upgrade. He does clear up that Widow Mine, but another good Widow Mine hit. Okay, he's got to spread back. There's a lot of Widow Mines in a clump. Nice detonation with the first ones, but the Widow Mine did clean up the rest of them. Way too clumped up on those Widow Mines. Huge mistake for Clem is going to cost him. He's trying to spread his Marines. His medevac instantly spreads away from the pack, but my god, that's so many Banelings. The Banelings do connect with some of the Marines on the right side. Burrow Baneling goes down on the ramp. He does scan and see it. The tank on the high ground might be the saving grace of Clem. If he can defend this mineral line, he's going to remember, you don't want to lose the Hydra line. You don't want to lose the Hydra line. An overextension from Reynor there. I told you guys, you got to watch out for that. Every Zerg has done this where they think they're about to break in and kill all the SCVs. And then suddenly there's a wall of Marine Marauder fighting only Hydras and they get absolutely slaughtered. I can't believe Reynor still hasn't gone Lurkers against a guy who's only had a handful of ghosts the last few minutes. He's had a tech advantage, but he's forgotten his adaptive talents. He's only now started it. He's forgotten his groove spines, and this is something which he's done so many times in the last few months of StarCraft. I feel right now he needs a soundboard next to him, just saying, make upgrades, don't forget upgrades, Reynor, you need upgrades. Oh no, big Widow Mine hits, take out the Banelings. Hot damn, man. And these Banelings on the left side, he kept thinking there would be a back and forth on this far left. He didn't realize it would be more towards the center. And so he's not able to land those. I do think Clem might need to build a few more Marines, but I guess when you've got ghosts, they've got good anti-light damage for the Zerglings. And I think it's one Marauder shot and one Ghost shot will pretty much always kill a Zergling, even with +3 armor now. So I actually think the Marauder Ghost combo might be fine. You probably don't need so many Marines. Probably just Marauders up front, Ghosts behind, Widow Mines spread throughout. Nice abducts on a few Marauders and Ghosts. There is still plenty more Widow Mines where that came from, though. This is a very scary position. Reynor's going to go for that Lurker run by, finally going for it. He's got some nice upgrades. He's going to burrow in the middle and try to break down both this expansion and the wall off there. Trying to run forward on the left, hoping he can use the burrowed Banelings as well. But Clem does not give him any respect and just immediately shoves forward. Rather than pulling back defensively, he says, no, no, no. You want to trade? I'll trade, man. Come and fight my planetary. I'll go kill your economy. Banelings do get some decent detonations. Command center on the right side does lift off. He's going to kill a lot of depots, a lot of infrastructure that could affect him later in this game. Yet, funnily enough, Clem is still at 200 supply. He doesn't have that many orbitals, though. Only 3 orbitals, which is a huge problem. He doesn't have that much detection. We've seen Clem lose to running out of detection in the past. And oh no! Case in point. Oh no! He runs out of detection. His army gets jumped on the left side at the same time. A Lurker flank apparently hit it. I didn't even notice that. These Lurkers are slaying this base. And Reynor finally going into Lurkers. And it feels like things have turned around so suddenly. Once he committed to that tech, Vipers are being rebuilt here. He's making a lot more Lingbane, Hydra Lurker. This base is going to be hard to defend. Another orbital is there. That tank, unfortunately, not in range. The Ghosts will snipe those. Oh, does finally get that snipe off after taking a few of those hits. 12 Ghosts, 13 Marines, 6 Marauders, a tank, a Liberator, and 10 Widow Mines. Clem's economy is very bruised and battered. I think he should give up on taking the base on the right side and just focus on defending where he's at, because Reynor will run out of money eventually. But you can't let him trade. Those Banelings go in and take out the Widow Mines. Clever split on those Banelings. The way Reynor said, oh, anytime he sees Widow Mines clumped up, he will just send 3 Banelings and blow them up on those Widow Mines. He's very happy to do it. The Banelings coming forward as well. Nice Marine Marauder Ghost spreadies on the right side. The Ghosts stumble into that Lurker. They do take it out. Nice scan to do so. But it looks like Reynor, he's chewed up this map so early, guys. That base is half out. That base is half out. He's got a few more minutes of this crazy level of 3,400 minerals a minute. Maybe 2 more minutes at most. And then that income's going to steadily drop. It's just about survival. Clem gets so many snipes. He slays the Lurkers from the high ground. Unfortunately, there is a Lurker there, and he's so low on scans. I don't know if he can defend this base. He's trying to get a planetary up. Reynor is going to dive for it. YOLO Jenkins! Banelings, Lurkers will bust the planetary. But if Clem can hold on, he might be okay. He lifts the command center. The SCVs are running. He's got a new base up on the right side. Clem has the bank to rebuild his army, but he's not producing army right now. He builds more Ghosts, more Marines. He's got Cloak for his Ghosts and some more Widow Mines. He lands that orbital. He's trying to take both sides at the same time. The Ghosts get in the mineral line, especially, Reynor, if he gets bases up in the middle, then he can keep going for a long time, but any delay on that will be huge. The problem for Clem now is that he's like, well, where do I defend, the left or the right? He has to defend the right because he can't lift this base. This base he can lift. He's trying to just defend it with a handful of bio. That's obviously questionable whether or not he'll be able to pull it off. If he denies this this base. This is still neck and neck. Reynor is going to shove into this base on the left side. He's got a lurker there. The Ghost and the Marauders not going to be able to do all that well. He scans on the left side, but there's a lurker behind him that's going to interrupt all of his snipes. Oh no, he does manage to take the lurker out. Meanwhile, on the right side, a big thrust. A couple of the Ghosts get caught out. The Widowmine's not getting the big hits that they want. The Liberator's taking down by the Parasitic Bomb and the Hydras. The Link Bane Hydra lurker flowing over an endless onslaught. There's no Overseers here, so he can't see the Ghost, but look, he's just standing on top of them and letting their own detonations take the Ghosts out. The Planetary somehow survives. Another lurker on the left side. How the fudge is Clem still holding on to both extreme flanks at the same time? Reynor is absolutely shook right now. You know he cannot believe that that's happening. I get to see the entire map, and I can't believe Clem's holding on to both sides at the same time, with one of them being in orbital. Well, looks like he's going to finally put an end to that with a massive wave of Zerglings. And Clem realizes it. He does retreat the SCVs. A few of those will die on the retreat. Adrenal Gland Zerglings with +2 melee. They only have +2 melee. Not +3. Definitely something he's missing. He's also only on +1 range as well. But Reynor's out of bank. I told you guys his income would drop steadily. Remember, it was 3,400 minerals a minute. Now it's 2,300. He's run out of steam. At this point, unless you have Infestor Broodlord, you're probably going to lose the game. Clem has survived. I've cast so many games on this map where people are like, oh, it's so unfair. Zerg just throws endless waves. Well, guess what? It looked like Clem was about to die for a long time, but all he needs to do is survive. On a small map like this, where these middle bases are basically untakeable for the Zerg, the Terran is so much more cost efficient. 21,000 resources more cost efficient. And you look at this at the end of it, you go, yes, did Reynor get a bit of a lead on him with that economy in the early game? Yes. Was he able to swarm over and do a lot of damage? Yes. Did he kill him? No. Is Clem now in the big daddy driver's seat? Heck yes. And Reynor basically has one more big fight. If he can't do it with that, he's screwed. And it's a mass lurker army, which against mass ghosts is not super optimal. The Widowmines, of course, really helping out, but we'll see what he can do. Fighting on two sides at once is very hard for both sides. You can see the scan comes in. He's going to try and snipe there. Gets one of the lurkers. Doesn't have enough energy to snipe all of them. Gets another one. Command Center is going to get its SCV line cleared. Widowmine does a bit of friendly fire, but kills a lot of Zerglings as well. He's going to try and scan and jump on top maybe, but no, he's out of energy. So he's just going to lift that for now and give up on it. Meanwhile, pushing the right side, Clem says, okay, you can't do everything at once. Clears this hatchery out one more time. And Clem looking to rebuild this one. Doesn't have any snipes available. Only one so far. The lurkers are still there. And Reynor, he's on mass lurker. A desperate sign if I've ever seen one. A Nidus Worm might be able to do it, or a giant run by the Widowmine's getting some good shots off. But oh, Clem! No, Clem! Clem! Oh, he stumbles into the lurkers. Fighting in two places at once for so long is a huge distraction. And the mass lurkers just waiting patiently and then releasing their spines up the butts of that bio army. A terrible way to go. Absolutely not the sort of prostate exam that army was looking for. The Link Hydra lurker is going to deny this base on the left side. Clem doesn't need to hold that. He doesn't need to. He just needs to survive. Pull back. He's still got a healthy base on the right. He's looking at that other expansion. How many medevacs has he got right now? 11 medevacs. He's got to bring some over. The lurker's on the right, taking big Widowmine hits. He's going to start sieging that base, trying to distract him. Reynor making a game out of it despite being so low on income. And like I said, this is basically his last army. He can't really remax from here, whereas Clem is still going to have mining for the next few minutes. But, hey, denying bases is going to make that really hard. The Vipers can start abducting as well. On the right side, Ghosts do come over, snipes a few of those lurkers. He keeps this base up, still a few minerals there, but losing this base would be a disaster. And that is so many lurkers. He's got to snipe these Vipers. Look at this. Oh, does he get... Okay, he snipes down one of the Vipers. He's going to snipe down a lurker as well, but he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough of that. The Ghosts get abducted, as does an SCV, but of course he's attacking the Planetary. Clem might just be best advised to give this up. The Orbital gets shot down by the Hydras. Clem takes this base. He's going to try and shove down the right flank. He sees those lurkers. He's going to try and snipe them out a little bit. Does take down most of them. There's still 3 lurkers there. They're all deep in the red, but he is himself out of scans. And oh god, Clem. Uh-oh, stepping into the Zerg territory on creep might be costing him. He lost that command center in the top left, and he shoves in here and loses some more units. Oh no! Clem needs to get back grouped up and make this work. He needs to hold on to this position. He's given up control of the top left, which was a base which had a lot of minerals left on it, and now they're both in a shit position economically. We are looking at 2 players. It's not a rags to riches, it's riches to rags story for both of these players. They are now... You know, they don't have their private security anymore. They don't have their driver. with a bloody shotgun ready to protect him. No, 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 no. They've both just got pointy sticks, and we're going to see who knows how to stab harder than the other. Reynor with a great move gets in here. He's going to clear out the armory, which of course will reveal Widow Mines. They won't be invisible. And he hits the right at the same time. Reynor, oh, devastating blow there on the right side. He didn't shift click the SCVs, so they were shooting the planetary. Could have killed even more if he did that. Ghost's trying to pick some off, but of course, as effective as Snipe is, he just didn't have enough energy in the right place at the right time. And Reynor finds a way to get the 2-0 advantage in a game where we all could have sworn Clem had that, right? He was so close. He was looking so good. And we've got to check, was that actually a hold fire maneuver from Reynor? Was it a hold fire maneuver, or was it just Clem wasn't watching? I don't think it was hold fire. For those who don't know, lurkers have a hold fire option. You can tell them to not shoot until you turn that off. And it's a great way to kind of surprise your opponent. And you're going to see it's going to happen here. Does he hold fire, or do they just shoot the moment they walk in and he's too distracted? He was on hold fire. Oh, you're kidding me! In the midst of fighting in so many areas, re-expanding, he was running down here and clearing up Widow Mines at the same time. He actually did hold fire. Turns it on at the last second and gets massive, massive hits. Clem reacted fast. Oh my god. But he saw the army down there. So he thought, oh, that's where your army is. Oh man. That was a brutal move. And that's a game-winning move. That was a huge momentum shifter. Well played, Reynor, you beast. All right, everybody. Game number 3 is going to be... We're giving lots of all right intros, aren't we? The games are so exciting. I even have a breather between each game. Clem is playing Terran here, of course, on the right side of Data C, but saying, hey, big defensive map, good for turtling. Reynor's going to play Protoss. Now, this is interesting because I actually feel like this map... Yes, their 4 base is easy to defend, but once the Terran goes to 5 base, I still think they can get swarmed. Now, this is a proxy build from Reynor. It looks like a proxy Stargate, I would imagine. I'm not sure if he went like 13 pylon or anything like that. With this build, you actually don't need to put this guy on gas. I think you can put him on minerals, unless you want to start Warp Gate very early. Because you're going to notice when this Cybercore finishes, he'll have 150 gas for the Stargate plus 25 for the Adept, I'm pretty sure. We'll see how well mapped out is Reynor's build with his gas. He's got 150 gas, plus 25, so he's got enough for the Stargate and the Adept. Stargate goes down instantly. Adept gets chronoed. He did chrono probes earlier. And do we see Warp Gate, or does he just skip it? He gets Warp Gate. Okay, so he is going to get Warp Gate this game. A lot of the time you do a proxy Stargate, you skip that Warp Gate, but as it is, the SCV comes in. Clem's like, oh, okay, you naughty little bugger. Extra pylon goes down at home as well. Ah, okay, I don't like this build from Reynor. It's way better if you go Nexus before Pylon. Right? Wait, why is he... Oh, he's going very high on probes as well. Okay, he's going... Ah, interesting, yeah. It's not the worst. As long as he puts that Nexus down soon. It's just squeezing your Nexus into 1-base build orders versus Terran is one of the most important things. And this Zealot would like to dive on that SCV. He should go for it. Anything to delay this. Bunker already up with the Marine, and 2 more Marines and a Widow Mine building. And look at this. Marine takes so long to kill a Zealot. Clem's going to hop on it, but it's risky. If he happens to shift over to the other side. Oh, good save. The Adept. Not quite shading it in time to get it. Oh, nice moves. Very nice moves here by Clem. Reynor does see the factory, though. Factory built so close there. Does give away what he's up to. Oracle's already here. Has he got a Widow Mine in the mineral line? He does. He's not hidden it at all. It's smack bang in the center. That's about as obvious it gets. If the Oracle dies here, it's game over. I do this build a lot. Oh, he was so close to actually staying in range too long there, guys. So close. Yeah, you can dart in and out like this. He could actually hold position over there. Would have been the better way to do it. Still got plenty of energy, though. Oh, good micro by Clem, man. Only loses 2 SCVs and a bit of mining time. That could have been way worse. Adepts do shade on in, though. And, oh, yeah. If I were him, I would absolutely drag the Widow Mine. I would just run an Adept through and drag the Widow Mine into the SCVs. As it is, Reynor, though, getting these Adepts in, being really annoying. And Clem's got to be annoyed that he let them in here. But Cyclone pops out and he says, you know what? Not too bad. As long as I shut these Adepts down, we are all good. He's got more Oracles building. So Reynor is doubling down on the aggression right now. He's got a 2nd and 3rd gateway on the way, pre-Twilight Council, which means we're going to see a 3rd Oracle and a gateway bust. So he's going to dive his 3 Oracles onto the Cyclone and try to kill it. But look at how safe this setup is right now. Where is the Cyclone, by the way? On the ramp. So he's using Cyclone on the natural Marines in the main. You could dive the Marines with the 3 Oracles, but the Cyclone's going to run up and punish you. And that is 9 Marines. Oh, especially if Clem focus fires, or if one Oracle's just far enough in front they all happen to focus fire. This could go very, very badly for Reynor. He's going to find the Cyclone. Oh, there we go. Does get the Cyclone. Okay. It's worth it. It's not a bad start. You got 3 Oracles now that can continue to be dickheads. He never turned the lasers off. So he actually gets 1, 2. Oh, does sacrifice there. Gets a few more SCVs and the Widowmine on the way out. This is really good trades for Reynor. Reynor's got a Twilight Council on the way. But I think he needs to actually get a 3rd base in this scenario as well. I also wouldn't mind him playing Charge in this scenario. I feel like he's kind of got to play something a little gimmicky simply because of the nature of the fact that Clem is going to have a very powerful army of Stim Bio very early compared to whatever you're doing. On the other hand, he has no vision. Clem has no idea what's going on out there. I mean, we're on Clem's camera right now. He's just like, me make Bio, me make Medevac, me survive. There's not much else to it than that. Stalkers on the front could be annoying. Bunkers getting a few Marines in them, but Clem staying disciplined, not pulling too many Marines to defend that. He's going to go for Medevacs in the near future. Behind this, you can see Reynor's thinking about the 3rd base. Blink is about halfway done. Definitely needs to get something going. Oracles fly in and get 2 SCVs. Not bad. Gets the depot builder. 3rd base goes down, but where's the splash damage? There's no Robo, there's no Templar Archives. Of course, his gas is too late. He can't afford splash damage. Feels like he's going to have to go for some sort of Stalker Zealot style. But as you can see, this big Bio army pushing out. The Medevacs are going to boost across the map, and they're going to join this army. No batteries up yet. No batteries. Blink isn't ready, so he can't really go out and skirmish with it. Stim's done. Shields and +1's going to finish. Oh, this is a very scary moment in the game for Reynor. If he had some batteries, I think he's fine, because he's got so many Stalkers. But he doesn't have batteries. Stalkers get a good ambush on these Marines, but he can't chase into the... No, get out of there! Oh my god. Reynor's trying to go around the grass. His blink is not ready, though. He's got to be careful. Still no batteries for him. Oh man, he's going for a Forge. Is he just going to play Mass Blink? Clem lost a weekly cup once to Raze, who went mass... I think it was Raze who just went Mass Blink versus him. So just, for Clem, one of the best Terrans in the world, to lose a TVP to a Protoss who was way below his level, a very respectable Grandmaster, but it was a surprising tactic where the Blink Stalkers just en masse picked him off, and it seems like Reynor's going for the same style, where it's something where no Terran expects you to just keep massing Blink Stalkers. It's such a rare strategy, but they can bait out your stims and pick off your units for days. Oof, definitely overextended there, though, losing 5 Stalkers. He's got to get out of there. You gotta beware the Stim Bio, man. You gotta drain these Medevacs of energy by making him Stim over and over again. And then what happens is you can kind of surround them with Stalkers. If they chase you too far, you start just blinking back in an arc, and none of your Stalkers are dying, and they're like, wait, when are the Stalkers going to run out? And they realize there's way too many. A single Phoenix is building to try and hunt that drop down. There is a 3rd base up. Reynor's turning this into a really good game. He sees the 3rd command center start, gets the SCV on it with his only remaining Oracle, and he tags the Bio coming across. Widowmines are pumping out right now. +1 armor's on the way. Forge is making +1 here for Reynor as well. He's only on 3 gates. It's all about the army that he's already got out. He's got a battery building on that base. I think he's already got one in the mineral line as well. No, he doesn't. That's the first one, but still. Picking off units. Does lose 1 Stalker. Battery overcharge will mean this is an unattackable position for Clem. As long as Reynor fights in front of the battery, which he doesn't quite do. Looks like he forced the drop back with the Phoenix. The Phoenix takes a Widowmine to the face. Stalker's got a blink to dodge that, but oh, looks like Clem microed that to change target, so it didn't fire. Stargate will get taken down. Remember, there's no Robo, which means there's no detection. If Clem goes for an Armory right now, which he absolutely should so he can start +2 attack, then there's no way other than this Oracle to see the Widowmines. Good tag so far, though, by Reynor. He's going into charge. 8 gateways, Templar Archives. His big pack of 14 Stalkers are doing pretty well. But, they're very expensive and they're very fragile. It's not a lot of damage in this army. If he doesn't overcharge, he could get overrun. Very good overcharge. He had to do it, but Clem's going to wait till that runs out and might do really well in the aftermath. Oracle going to grab a few SCVs on this base. Reynor's going to pull that Oracle back to safety. His Zealots are going to hit the natural, which is a great way for him to buy time. He's building 5 more gates. He's going to 10 gates. He's still building nothing but Stalkers, but he doesn't have any batteries left to fall back on. He's got to... Oh, this position is so bad. These pylons are blocking him. This is not a good position for Mass Stalker. You want to be in a big arc so they can all shoot at once and pull back in a sort of expanding arc, but Zealots are going to run in and get some good damage. He takes out the Widow Mines. Very nicely done. Reynor's Stalker Micro is really good, but Clem has a big clump of Marauders up front. They do start to get into a bit of a bad angle. The Widow Mines. Oh, the Widow Mines. The Nexus goes down. All the Widow Mines fire mostly on individual targets, but it feels like Reynor losing that economy is a disaster. He's going to transfer probes to that right side where he's building a fourth base. The Oracle comes back in, but oh, there's a Widow Mine this time. And that Oracle finally not going to be able to find any more. Reynor's still way up in workers, 13. But without a third base to actually mine from effectively, the income advantage goes to the Terrans significantly, especially in the minerals, which is what matters most. The Bio's very bruised, but there's just not enough units to capitalize. It feels like Clem's almost overextending, but with no secondary battery overcharge to fall back on, Reynor cannot staunch the flow. Very good play for Reynor out of a dicey situation there. But Clem manages to hold on and stabilize despite all of that Oracle damage. Well played. All right, guys, let's go game number 4. And it's a proxy 2-Rax. I have been criticizing Clem for the past 2 years, saying this guy's a god of standard TVZ. But if he could actually play unpredictably and not just do the same thing over and over, he would be so much scarier. And the secret to all the best champions, Maru, MVP, Innovation, TY, is they always mix in surprising proxy barracks, all-ins, and just heavy pressure openings. And Clem in the past just wouldn't do it. He'd be like, it's too unreliable, Cyril's too good for it. I love that he's mixing this in now. It doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work, but so far, Reynor's missed it. Oh, he's showing it way too early with that SCV. Oh, no! He gives away what he's doing. Oh, wait, this is 2-Rax Reaper? It's 2-Rax Proxy Reaper. Oh, wow. Okay. Damn, this is a huge commitment. This is a massive commitment, guys. The SCV already shows that he's up to something. Reynor's like, what is going on right now? But he doesn't see any Marines coming in. So, yeah, Reynor knows he's being Proxy Reapered at this point. He's got to know that. He's building 2 Queens, 4 Zerglings. The SCV is going to go for the bunker. And that is, of course, very annoying if that bunker can get up there. Spinecrawler goes down immediately in response. Good move. He did mine barely 100 for Ling Speed, which is very important because Ling Speed is crucial in this scenario. Reaper doesn't want to get surrounded. Good pullbacks by Reynor. Man, Reynor's micro is insane. He hasn't lost a single guy. 1 Zergling goes down. Still 2-Rax Reaper coming in behind. We expect a factory to drop at home in probably the next 20-30 seconds. The Reapers, though, already looking for damage. They haven't found it. The Spinecrawler is going to finish. The Queen is up. The Reapers have to get inside Mr. Bunker. Already a bit of regen going down on them, but this one is still very damaged. You'll see it regen in a moment, but takes a hit. Puts an end to its regen for now. Queen's running on forward. They don't manage to get the creep tumor. They do bounce the grenade on the Queens one time, but oh, that's a lot of Zerglings, and gonna have to sell that and get the hell out of there. Behind this, the factory is on the way, but this feels like a near perfect defense for Reynor, just effortlessly shutting this down. Dude. SCV is going to go for a scout around the back. I like that. Clem's Drilly Boy is somehow still alive. And the Zerglings are like, yeah, we'll let you live. You brave. You brave. We'll let you live for now. What can I say, dude? The Zerg are savages. They respect bravery and stuff above everything else. Looks like the SCV doesn't. The Spinecrawler doesn't. Did kill that SCV in the main base. More Reapers are building, but that'll be the last one. So there'll be 7 Reapers on the map. He's going to go Reacted Hellions to join up with those units. Situation which does really make you want to play Roaches. Obviously, I think a Roach Ravager opening is almost a no-brainer here for Reynor. That being said, he's Reynor. He loves Ling Bane. He might just choose not to. He might be like, nah, screw it. I'm going to play Ling Bane anyway. Just get big surrounds. But with so many Reaper grenades coming out, and even though they only do 5 damage, 5 damage to a Zergling is 1/7 of its hit point pool. Doesn't sound that massive, but it does stack up a lot more than it does versus Roaches. Drones are going to be going into the production. The creep is spreading forwards. There's nothing that shoots up here. It's going to go for a medevac. So it's going to be a medevac Hellion drop potentially. After a proxy barracks, that is the standard way to do it. I like that Clem mixed this in. You know, it's such a surprising build order. But I have to feel like Reynor is ahead afterwards. And he's going Baneling Nest. Interesting. Is he thinking about Bane Bust? Oh, he's going to go all in. But he's only got 1 gas. This doesn't make any sense. He needs to make a 2nd gas. If he wants to make this work, he needs a 2nd gas. Yeah. He's only because he's got enough gas for 2 banelings right now. So even with 3 workers on gas, he's only gonna have a trickle. Then again, if you have enough lings to surround, do you really need more than 4 or 5 banelings to kill those units? Not necessarily. Wolof is starting on the natural, but it's nowhere near ready just yet. And he just knows that Clem has not got a lot of units to defend with. Even with Hellions at home, oh, this is still a very weird situation right now. The Ling's getting ready for a giant surround. Reynor's making 5 banelings on the defense. The Reaper Hellion going to try to run in. The Spine Crawler's there. Creep Shimmer does get sniped down. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, he's going to have to pick up the Reapers, I think. Pick up the Reapers. Pick him up. Pick him up. Okay, he does save 6 of those Reapers. That is a ton of Ling Bane coming across the map, and he has to micro his Hellions to try and stop this. There we go. Reaper's going to start to unload as well. Reynor playing a really crazy Wrestling Bane style. He would like to finish this series off right now. The Marine is going to finally kill this Overlord that's been sitting in his base for the last 3 minutes of this game. Surprisingly, didn't see what he was doing behind it, but you can always assume it's going to be a 2-1-1 follow-up. Why? Because you already saw 2 barracks on your side of the map. He floated them home, and you know he built a factory and a starport. So you know it's a 2-1-1. Lots of Hellions are now here. 6 Hellions, 6 Reapers. 5 Marines behind it. More Marines, Medevacs, and Widow Mines coming in. I like the Lings getting ready for the wraparound. They're going to try and stop the retreat here, but pulls back. Good patience by Reynor. He's waiting for Clem to go in a bit too deep, and only then is he going to look to pounce on this. Clem is still keeping up SCV production. The 3rd command center is getting well underway. 3rd barrack starts up as his +1 weapon starts on the engineering bay as well. And Reynor realizing, okay, I've got to build workers. Double Evo's there. His layer's almost finished. He'll be going Baneling speed into 1-1 upgrades. Yep, looks like he's going to take this 4th base, but a nice quick cancel as the Hellion Reaper comes in. Still a very scary ball of mobile units, but if they ever get surrounded and go down, Clem has very little other than this ball of harassment. Now these units are going to come across. They're going to see the Lings there. Luckily, there's a wall off at home. The Lings are going to go on back. The Hellion Reaper working this angle very well. And just got to... Oh, the grenades, the grenades. If he can bounce the Queens forward, he can do some good damage. Can't really engage the Spine Crawler, though. Its 2 armor is devastating versus the Reaper's 2 attacks. Literally, they only do half damage to a Spine. He's going to come in, though. He's got some Widow Mines as well. I don't know if this is the right play for Clem. Getting the Overlord is cute, but doesn't really have a way of getting through the Spine Crawler. Even with Stim, there's no way. That Spine Crawler with Transfuse is going to be such a great defensive anchor for this position. Most of the Transfuses are already chewed up. The Lings are getting ready. Looks like they might do a Baneling run, but he's going to pick up and drop in the main base. See if he can force some trades, get some reactions out of Reynor. I don't think it's going to do all that much, though. Clem is going to be forced to play a longer game. Reynor's taking the base in the top left right now. Queen goes down, as does a couple of drones. Hey, not too bad. He's getting some real damage done here. Only loses a single Hellion. Queen, 2 drones, and some more. He's got a double drop on the left side. There is a bunch of Widow Mines in there, which obviously can't attack hatcheries, but Clem's doing a good job. If he can deny the 4th base, then he will get ahead in this game. His 3rd command center's floating out. He's only on 52 workers, so he's down 20 workers. Desperately cannot let Reynor get a 4th base. If Reynor gets a 4th, Clem is deep in Dicktown with no exits in sight. And oh, the speed bait's on creep. Get out, get out, get out. Okay, the Widow Mine gets a big juicy, though. Oh, Clem landing a big old juicy and getting a great Marine drop angle. Reynor has to micro those Lings around. Clem quick to pick it up. He's got more units reinforcing on that left side. These units still maintaining position on the right. It is just 7 Stim Marines, 6 Reapers, and 3 Hellions. Queen's going to be able to block that, but I think he should just keep dropping up the high ground into the main while trying to work this angle on the left with the Widow Mines. Clem has a scary army supply, but remember, he's so far behind on workers, he cannot let this 4th base freely mine. He's going to try and apply some pressure to it, but good spready on the Zerglings. Widow Mine's not able to get the big juicy hit they were looking for. Hellion Reaper is back inside the main base. They can't really fight the Queens head on very well. There are some Marines with Stim, which I guess can do some decent damage. Meanwhile, the drop on the left side has to pull back. A few Banelings are left behind. The Hellion Reaper jumps on top. My god, Transfuse and Queens are good, though. Reaper Hellion is not cut out for taking down Queens. And oh, he does take out a bunch of them, but he sacrifices a lot of his units. He's going to pull back behind the mineral line. Meanwhile, on the left side, Reynor tries to surprise him. The Marines are still doing those hot pickups. Oh, on the right side, he does get taken out by the Banelings, though. Clem's been trading decently throughout here. Better than 2-to-1 trading for him. but he's going to have to make sure these medevacs get out. There's still 7 queens on the map with 2 more building. Reynor is playing his survival style, where he is just super focused on non-stop queens, lings, banes, queens, lings, banes, and with a 10 worker advantage and a base advantage, it feels okay for him. On the other hand, I don't think there's as much pressure on Clem to just kill him now, because Clem has got his own 3rd fully saturated. He's building a 4th and a 2nd factory. He still needs to preserve his units and trade very effectively. These Widow Mines are getting decent hits. I just don't know if decent is enough when you're dealing with the Italian Stallion. He has an endless wave of Zerg units flooding out. What in the heck? Clem, though, his unit efficiency is off the charts. Better than 2-to-1 cost efficiency being maintained throughout. He's got a 4th command center. 2 more barracks are being built right now, which is, of course, going to bring him up to 7 barracks. Add some more tech labs for Marauder and Ghost production. Widow Mine's doing some cute burrow, unburrow, and the Marines doing some lovely spreadies. Remember, every Baneling that hits on 1 or 2 Marines is not efficient at all. A Baneling costs more than a single Marine does. So these Marines spreading like this, trying to bait things for the big Widow Mine hits can be very effective. That Widow Mine, unfortunately, was not able to fire. Now that the Queens and the Hydras are here, he's going to try and fight the Queens. Watch out, the Widow Mines could be big. Oh, but the Widow Mine does go down. Banelings are starting to detonate. There's not many Widow Mines left on this one. That one gets defused by a single Zergling. The Marines and the Widow Mine skirmishing, but I think Clem is now getting diminishing returns. And you can see here that Reynor has held onto his 4th. He's taking a 5th on the right side. Clem may need to put it back in his pants and find a new angle. All right, still stimming back and forth. He's got the parade. 2-2 upgrades are on the way. +1, one was way ahead, I think, for Reynor earlier. But now the upgrades are actually ahead for the Terran player. Clem, when his +2 finishes in 30 seconds, he'll be in a very good upgrade position. The Hydras are really helping out. Those Hydras have no upgrades, though. So 17 Hydras with no upgrades. That is really terrible. Hydras without upgrades are one of the worst units in StarCraft 2 for their cost. Reynor's so rich that it might not matter. He's done such a good job building an economy. The Banelings, oh, that Widow Mine does a bit of friendly fire. The other one's not finding the hits that they need, though. The Liberator does go down. Good catch there for Reynor. Reynor's going up even more Hydras. He's going to 22 Hydras. That is way too many. Mass unupgraded Hydra has got to be one of the worst things I've seen from Reynor recently. Mixed in with everything else that he does so well. Maybe there's a reason for it. I feel like the last month of me casting Reynor's ZVT has been me shitting on his Hydralist play while praising literally everything else that he does. Except the Hydras and the way he uses them in the upgrades. I do think 22 Hydras is way too many for this point in the game. That being said, Clem, he's struggling to maintain pace. He's only just got his 4th landed and dropping mules there. And if Lurkers ever get out, he definitely doesn't have the answer to it. On the other hand, the Queens, oh, the Overseer drags a Widow Mine onto some of the Marines, but he stutter steps at the last second and avoids the worst of it. Unfortunately, he's only got 1 medevac here, so we can only save 8 Marines. Bit of a bummer there. If he had another medevac, that would have been much nicer. Liberator sieging that left side. And you can see that the mining is struggling. Liberator sieging the main as well. Clem is in full multitask mode. Clem may not have had the best situation earlier, but it doesn't matter because he is Clem. And Clem is an absolute savage. Picks off the 4th base. Liberator sieges down here on the 5th base. The Hydras are nearby, but Reynor a little too slow to react. He is thankfully making groove spines, but not before 5 drones go down. Hydra's trying to chase the drops back on the left. Liberator re-sieging on the 3rd. Queen's going to try and take it out. Who wins the fight? Looks like the Liberator would, but the Queen with a quick reposition. Clem's going to move back and siege the left base, being such a cheeky dickhead. Clem is playing some fantastic StarCraft. Unfortunately, a little supply block right now on 180. But his upgrades are good. He's on 2-2 versus 1-2. The Groove Spines actually does kick in. And Muscular Augments on the way, so Reynor is upgrading those Hydras. They're becoming half-decent units. They still don't have attack upgrades, but they've got the armor, and that's a big spready. Reynor with a very decisive move. Clem was not expecting this. Caught off guard. The Bio trying to scatter backwards and spread the Marines behind the Marauders, but my god, the number of Banelings cascading forwards. It is an absolute waterfall of Zerg just splashing over his head, and Clem, oh, he lost a lot of important units there. His Widow Mine count's very low, his tank count's very low. He's trying to kite backwards a little bit here, gun down some of these Banelings on the retreat, but he cannot let those Banelings connect. He's way down on army right now, and that big wall of Hydras. Oh, we can't fight into that. He cannot fight into that. He can hold this bridge, but if Reynor goes around the right side, can he defend the infrastructure up there? He's got a command center that's about to finish. He needs to let that finish and lift that back. Losing these command centers would be a disaster for Clem right now. Uh-oh. Crazy situation. Double upgrades have finished in terms of augments and spines for the Hydras for Reynor. Reynor's got a new 4th base up. The 5th base, he never lost control of. He's on 83 workers, 6 more on the way, so Reynor's trying to do his 90 drone business. Don't chase too far, Clem. Clem, with a wisely timed pullback, does avoid the nasty stuff that could have happened there. Clem will move out and deal with these Zerglings on the left side as well. Reynor's not able to find an opening. On the other hand, he's pinned Clem back into a defensive stance, and Clem is best when he's attacking. Clem is building 2 Cyclones right now, which is a misclick. Those are meant to be siege tanks. Oh man, that is a huge mistake. And this tank on the bridge, an accidental siege up, blocking the entire bridge. He does cancel it. Okay, he realizes after those 2 Cyclones come out, and at least only gets 2 Cyclones in the mix. Pretty damn terrible units to have in this situation. But despite that, he's going into Ghost. He's got so many command centers coming up. Reynor, we know he doesn't like playing the super late game. On the other hand, Clem is not Maru. Clem is very good at StarCraft. He's very good at late game. He is not Maru. Maru has an aura of invincibility in the late game that Clem definitely does not have. On the other hand, the Hive is late. Tanks are in the open, but that's a lot of bio, a big stim to scare Reynor back. That being said, Reynor denying the bottom right side. There's a tank in a very nice position there. Skirmish in the middle. Ooh, the tanks are moving up. Oh, big flank. He broke the rocks on the left. I don't know if Clem realized that. Reynor broke the rocks on the left and came down. Oh, man. Devastating engagement. Once again, this area of the map seems to be Reynor's playhouse. Always surprising Clem with those engagements, and Clem's just not quite ready for them. He's like, yeah, I'm pushing forward. I take this position. I don't think he's had Zergs jump on him so ambitiously in those scenarios. Mass Hydra is not going to do well versus 3-3 bio off creep, though. I mean, the Hydras is way too many of them. So, here's the rule for anyone who wants to learn from this cast, rather than just hear me commentate the game. You want to have at most 10 Hydras in any section of your army. 12, I would say, is the max. So maximum of 24 Hydras on the max. But if you use this many, you want them split into 2 different armies to sandwich your opponent. The reason is they just get stuck behind each other otherwise. They literally don't get to attack unless your army's spread into separate sections and coming in from different angles. So when he sets up a big arc, they do okay. But most of the time, when the fighting's back and forth, notice how the Hydras, even breaking rocks, get stuck behind each other. They clump up for splash damage. And because he's only just now getting +1 range, they don't have a lot of damage output compared to the other units. Oh, good tank defense there on the left side. The rocks are all open, but Reynor, even though he started winning fights, his creep spread sucks. And he's not respreading it. He's only got 4 queens. He's not really respreading creep. As I say that, he spreads a tumor and puts a new tumor down in the middle. He has nothing on the left side of this map. So he doesn't have the normal map control he'd have for this stage. And he's up against a Terran who has 5 orbital command centers, a planetary in the bottom right. So he's got a lot of scans, a lot of mules does Clem. Clem's also got Ghost coming in, building armor, +2 vehicle weapons. He is set up much better for the late game than Reynor is. I definitely think Reynor's still obviously got momentum in terms of his ability to just jump on armies and surprise Clem. It feels like Clem is constantly just caught off guard by him. But on the other hand, Reynor's so assertive right now, I feel like he's got a little bit of momentum mentally as he's caught Clem off guard a bunch of times and won the last few fights. Big blinding clouds! Whoa! Big blinding clouds! Whoa! What a crazy attack, but can't chase too deep. Those blinding clouds do run out. Army on the right side shoves in. Clem will take out that base, but no, he doesn't focus it. He backs off. A moment of hesitancy there for Clem, and I got to question this move because now the entire army of Reynor is going to collapse on him from that left side. He finally goes back in and gets it. These 2 tanks are definitely not long for this world, but he's got more tanks in reserve. Chasing into these areas, very dangerous. Look at that arc of Hydras, though. And they've got +2 on the way. Seismic Spines is coming in. Didn't queue the Adaptive Talons upgrade. That's one thing. Reynor doesn't like to queue up upgrades even when he's really rich. He likes to do one thing at a time. He's very fast, and because of that, it usually works out, but sometimes upgrades do get forgotten. Bio pulling back on the south side. This tank is doing so much. Sergeant Chathammer does get spotted from the Zerglings and go down, though. These tanks also getting surrounded. Oh, no! Tanks going down! The bio getting cleared as well by the Hydras. I think that Widow Mine might have done a friendly fire. I don't know where all that bio went in the bottom right side. There is a lot more units rebuilding right now, but after losing all those tanks, it becomes a scary moment for Clem. He's on 9 tanks, 3 more building, 5 ghosts, and notice how he's now in F2 mode. Notice how everything that wasn't siege just moved to the right side of the map. It's a dangerous mode to be in as the Terran. If he's too busy setting up the defense and Reynor were charging up the middle with some blinding clouds, he might have caught him out. Reynor not able to do that, though. This Cyclone needs to get chucked out of here. Clem's probably pissed off it's still in his army. He wants to get rid of it. Giant army on the left side. Clem may deny a base, but he's got only 4 tanks undefended. The Lings are going to absolutely destroy. Losing these tanks just for a few Zerglings, not good for him. His whole army is brought back here. Like I said, he's in F2 mode. but Reynor doesn't really find the damage he looked for. He clears some tanks, which is not bad, but Reynor doesn't have that much mining. He's running low on money. I mean, he may have managed to sneak out of this situation on Waterfall, but I think now, this time, Clem has basically made it to the win condition. As I say that, a sneaky Nidus Worm, definitely something that could catch you off guard, but it looks like he's got, what, 2 tanks, a bunch of Marines and Marauders. He'll drop up there. Should definitely snipe the Overseer. Oh, surprise attack on the front at the same time. Reynor tries to distract him, goes for some big blinding clouds. Oh, man, this should have been a terrible fight for Reynor, and it is. Never mind. I was like, this should have been a terrible fight for Reynor. Don't worry, it is. That was really bad for him. Marauder drop on the right side, still denying that base. Guys, the income. Look at the income. There's no bank right now for Reynor. Reynor's mining less money. His hatcheries are getting denied. The Overseer got sniped. This is an absolute disaster. He's 14,000 resources less efficient. He throws up another... This is not a Nidus Worm, guys. This is a Desperation Worm. Because if Reynor can't slide a sneaky worm into his opponent's backdoor in the next minute or so, he is screwed. Now, Clem should realize these are changelings. He's got to get rid of the spotting units, but Reynor, he's running his army around so aggressively on the front, he keeps distracting him. Wait, he didn't focus the worm! He didn't focus the worm down! Oh my god, a bunch of lurkers get out in his backdoor, and that is going to cause him some problems. Oh man, okay, good attack on the front as well. Catches a bunch of those units, does Reynor, while the lurkers actually do pretty damn good here. Needs to scan this again. Clem, a little slow to scan that one. Finally takes this down, but that was not damage that should have happened. Luckily, he does rebuild his tech lab. He's got +2 vehicle weapons, +3 almost here. Abducting a Marine into Ling Hydra. That is not something you see every day. Reynor making magic happen with some surprise moves. Let's go to Reynor's vision. He's lost all of his changelings, which means no more sneaky Nidus Worms. Units lost tab, still 15,000 resources in the favor of Clem. He's got a new base here. He's got Widow Mines, tanks spread all over the map. Planetary's going up. He's almost maxed. Reynor's out of bank. I mean, Reynor, like we keep saying he's dead, and any other Zerg would be, but he's so clever with his like big crazy positionings. I feel like he's got a little bit of that dark effect. Dark and, you know, always has the ability to just, or rogue, surprise you with like a big lurker counterattack that somehow gets on your production or something like that. Reynor, there's always that effect where you're like, maybe? But he's down 30 army supply. He's down in upgrades. He can't even get +3 melee or +3 range. He can't afford them. He's only now remembering adaptive talents. I was talking about him for getting upgrades earlier. I said that. I didn't even realize he didn't have adaptive talents in these last few minutes. Oh, no. These lurkers getting sniped down. And you can just play the slowest game of all time as Clem. He's making nukes, vehicle weapons, extra command centers. And Reynor's going to go for the crazy thrust up the middle. All the tanks are on the far right and the far left. This is the only way he could lose this game. No. Clem has no tanks in the middle. He's trying to push the... He doesn't need to be pushing up here. Reynor just goes for the production! No! Oh, Clem with a huge mistake. He's going to need to just abandon his production and rebuild. I legitimately don't think he can fight this. Clem needs to give this up. He's got so much more money. He just needs to slow down. He's killed the base in the top left, but he can't attack into this. That is such a good position. And he's going to try and survive in the main with this one siege tank. You know, these ghosts from the low ground can try to, like, maybe snipe from there or something. We could see exactly what Clem can do. Oh, snipes on the Vipers would have been huge, but he's not getting them. No snipes from the low ground right now, unfortunately. He's trying to lift tanks up and siege tanks from the low ground. He's actually doing a pretty good job. A lot of those lurkers do get sniped down. More Hydras running in from the front, funnily enough. Careful, Clem! Careful! Oh, he's got to be careful, man. That's a lot of lurkers out up his guts. Reynor finding some very good damage. He's making the game messy, but he hasn't... Oh! The Ghost Soul just walked in and died! They did it! Oh, Clem! Too much going on. As I said, with F2 mode, it gets very panicky in these scenarios. The lurkers are going to shove on top of the tanks on that base, realizing, hey, you're so occupied with clearing your main up, I can jump on that base. Oh, damn! Marine Marauder tries to come back, but there's lurkers burrowing everywhere and trying to deal with these units in every different position at once. There's still tanks out on the flanks of the map, tanks and Widow Mines, but very hard to pull those to help reinforce. The lurkers are tearing it up, and Reynor completely dead in the water. Literally, if this was a sailboat race, Reynor ran his friggin' boat onto a beach so hard that it went beyond the beach, 50 meters inland, and then he literally just said, oh, that's okay, because I'll just use the power of magic bullshit, and I'll just fucking drive my boat across the land. Drives it across the island, over a mountain range, literally sees a sick child, heals its sickness by, like, fucking touching its head, and wins a game. He has no business winning this game. He has no business winning this game. Seriously, this is actually disgusting. And it's not disgusting because, oh, Zerg Imba, nyeh. It's disgusting because he made some magic happen by finding the one weak point that he possibly could. Clem got a little bit too excited pushing that left side with too much of his army. And Reynor said, you know what? You're so focused on defending the edge bases that I keep attacking. Grabs his entire army, shoves it down the middle where there's no siege tanks, finds the opening, gets on the production, and starts branching into those bases with such technical finesse. And look at this, there's just not enough energy on the ghosts. He's got so few scans left. There's lurkers sieging his planetaries. There we go, look, he's gonna scan and take out a lurker. But each time he's doing this, you've got Reynor, who's, yes, his income's not great, but it's better than Clem's right now. Clem trying to rebuild tanks and ghosts, and Reynor has pulled a fast one on him. There's a reason why Maru plays so careful and defensive. There's a reason why Maru plays so patiently in these scenarios and doesn't try to send his whole army for a big push until he's got heaps of insurance, extra planetary layers, and all the rest. And this sort of maneuver is why Reynor's showing how to pull off a nasty, nasty comeback. He's even going to shove on top, realizing there's not enough here. The Lings, the Lurkers shoving forth. The planetary getting overwhelmed. The ghosts actually fighting like gods in that choke point. The ghosts are killing so many Zerglings, but when the Lurkers burrow, they say, welcome to Spine Town, asshole. And they take out a whole bunch of them. Dude. Oh, man. Reynor. You have no business winning this game, mate. Well done. Well done. I'm floored. I could have sworn we were getting a game 5 here. I'm like, there's like... And Waterfall, he was losing as well. This should have been a 3-1 for Clem. And that includes Clem losing a game to his Protoss. Like, what in the heck? The more I think about this, the sillier it gets. Oh, man. Okay, I mean, let's cast it out. Obviously, there's still income. It's still Terran units. There's not that much minerals left, right? He's got those minerals and these minerals. So Reynor's income is kind of diddled. Terran has only 3 orbitals, unfortunately. Yeah, if he was able to keep that planetary up there, that's such a fresh base. And Reynor's going to take that base now. Blinding Cloud comes in. He's going to shove it. Lurker, Ling, Hydra going to jump on top. Looks like a good fight for Reynor. The Blinding Cloud is awesome. There's so little Marines in there or Widow Mines. Another tank in the back does help, but a few of the ghosts have already gone down. Trying to snipe down some of these Hydras. The tank does fall, though. It doesn't quite have the numbers to staunch the flow. This is I mean, honestly, right now, there's a heavy set bloody Zerg just flowing on down. You need that maxi Terran pad. You need a bloody jumbo stopper. I don't know what you could do. Because you need Widow Mines, you need Marines, you need more Ghosts, you need tanks, and Reynor's just got too much stuff. He's got 75 workers, he can instantly transfer and take these bases. It's weird. It's weird, man. Tanks are going to slowly siege this. How many? He's got to use scans, though, and look, Reynor can just quickly unburrow and run away. Takes 2 tank shots, pulls away, says, haha, you wasted a scan. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, the one fungal boy, Reynor with style, says, get out of here, Terran boy. This is my land. I will take it from you. I'm going to turn you inside out on this. You notice how the bloody headquarters, the human buildings were already burning when we got here? That's because this is my town. We don't stand by for these stupid Terran buildings. I've got the fresh mining base. Your bases are running dry. They are running out of minerals. Last mineral patch on this base here. We're going to have one last attempt for Clem to try and get an army together and slowly push towards this base. But the income, 4 times the mineral income right now for Reynor. He's looking fantastic. What a bloody beast that he is. Playing Protoss 2 games in this series, 1-1 with Protoss. And if he can win this game, that means it will be 2-0 with the Zerg versus Terran. Both games where Clem had actually got to the point in the game where he was favored. And that's a testament to Clem and his ability to play just fantastic ZVT, but Reynor, he's an exceptional mid-game player, but more and more, he is looking a little bit weaker in the late game. This miracle he pulled here being the exception. Maybe that's just because we've been watching him play Maru too much, the god of late game. Oh, he may snipe the Viper and both Vipers. No, only one Viper and one Infestor, but the tank got abducted. Widow Mine. Oh, good Widow Mine hits. But the Ghost Marine is just not enough. There's too many Zerglings. Reynor's like, I have so much minerals. He can afford to flood over the top. There's not enough snipes to kill all these Lurkers, so he kills 1 or 2. But losing your base, losing the SCVs, all a disaster. And I mean, I feel like we saw that game where Showtime shook his head and said, what the fuck, after Cyril took him down. I think this one definitely falls into that category where Clem's like, are you serious, man? Come on. But what a great match. This is, of course, the upper bracket quarter final of the WardiTV Summer Championship. And Reynor, he's going to smash through with one last wave. One goes, 2 Marines building at a time. He's going to do a Widow Mine drop on the base. But then he does decide, nah, let's just try and drop it on top. Maybe? I don't know. He's got a tap. Clem does throw in the towel, and Reynor, disgusting beast that he is, says, hey, mate, pushing me is a mistake. You already had me checkmated, but you moved out of position to push me out my left flank, and I just went for the throat. Such decisiveness, such skill, and what an incredible hybrid player. GG, well played.